Ciao Bellezza! Hi honey. Today I wanted to show you Nonna's lasagna, okay? Nonna had a way to make this lasagna so simple and light because we didn't want to always feel heavy after eating lasagna. So remember in the previous video, and just look at the description below because it'll link you to the sauce that I made previously and to the meatballs. But there's just one difference. When you look at the link for the meatballs, I put oatmeal in there, but for this purpose only for lasagna. And if you were to make like homemade chicken noodle soup with some meatballs in it, you cannot put oatmeal in it because the oatmeal will expand it too much and break the meatball open because the meatballs you have to make super tiny, which you're going to see. So I just want to show you in the sauce. See, I just want to show you here the little meatballs. See how they're tiny? Look, they're all over the place. And this is what we're going to put in our lasagna. It's going to look really amazing, okay? I wanted to show you the things that Nonna used to do for her lasagna. And then in another video, I'm going to show you how I make the lasagna. You know, the ones that I make and I bring to your school. But I want you to see the two. There is a difference between the two. And you can decide which one you like best. I like them both. It depends the mood that I'm in. And we'll go from there. By the way, I didn't have time to make homemade pasta. So you know how to make homemade pasta, but just to refresh your memory, I'm going to put the link in the description, okay, to make the homemade pasta. I love homemade lasagna with the pasta. I didn't have time today because I'm really super busy. This is a great alternative. I love the lasagna shells from this company, okay? It's Rana. It's awesome. It's the closest you're going to come to homemade. It's not homemade, but it's the closest that you can come, so you can use this. Well, these are the ingredients you need. A lot of fresh mozzarella di bufalo, some pecorino romano, and some hard-boiled eggs. I will explain to you how these all work, but before we begin, I just want to let you know, the traditional lasagna from where Nonna was from in Calabria, we used eggs inside of the lasagna. When we were little, Nonna used to just slice them, and we used to get so grossed out by that. So she became very clever, and what she did was she started grating them. And I'm going to show you how I grate them finely so that you can put them in. And even though now today I don't mind seeing the sliced egg, I find it that it just gives it a more delicate texture to the lasagna if you do it this way. Oh, and by the way, remember when I talked about the meatballs? I know this drives you crazy when you come home and you see my stale bread that I put in the oven so it gets nice and hard, so I make for breadcrumbs or meatballs. This is what I used for meatball. I would put them in water and try to break them up with my finger until they became completely soft so that I can mix it in with the mixture of the meatballs. Okay? That's my reason for having that bread that you so often think is crazy to have in the oven. All right. The first thing that you're going to want to do is obviously get your sauce ready, which I prepared before, and I put the little meatballs inside so that they can have time to cook and boil. I turned off the sauce now and in preparation for making Nonna's lasagna. You can grab some sauce to pour on the bottom of this glass pan. You need to cover it up because the lasagna isn't cooked, right? So you need to be able to put these in. They're going to absorb a lot of the moisture, so you need to really cover the lasagna with a lot of sauce, and you'll see as I go through this. So I just start putting them in. What's nice about the way these shells were made, that you can break them to fit them to size. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's lasagna. And it's okay to overlap in so many ways. I would rather overlap than to have a gap. Typically, I have 2 packages of these for one lasagna. And there, we'll just go like this. It's just like a little mishmash. It'll be fine. Put some sauce, put some meat. I don't put too many meatballs on this bottom layer because I just don't want it to catch and burn. And I always feel like the middle layer is the layer where you want to put most of your meatballs, okay? Now, you can put as many as you like or as little as you like. I'm going to cut these up a little because I think they're a little bigger than I would like them to be. When Nonna made these, I think her meatballs were even tinier than this. I honestly just don't have that patience like Nonna did. I did the best I could. I'm only doing this for this bottom layer. I will not cut them when I start adding the layers, just for this one, so it's a good foundation. So I put some fresh mozzarella, just like this, make it nice and oozy and cheesy. Then I put some pecorino romano. This is how I do the eggs now. On the smallest part of the grater, I just go down like this, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. And it does, eggs give it this interesting flavor. And when I say interesting, I mean it enhances the sauce and the meat and the cheese that is in there. Now I'm using 4 boiled eggs, 1 pound of meat, 2 to 3 cups of mozzarella di bufala, just over a cup of Parmigiano Reggiano. It's really up to you. You know, one of the great things about cooking Italian is that you can add and discard whatever. It's going to be personal. Whoops! It's going to be personal choice and personal preference. What's wonderful about this, however, is that even though you see all this yellow, and this is how it comes out, once this is in the sauce, you don't even see the egg. The only thing that you'll see is the little particles of the white part of the egg, but people think it's cheese, so they don't think anything of it. Now, I never used to tell people what I do. Now, these days, it seems like everyone's allergic to everything, so now I tell them, but nobody ever knew the difference. They were always wondering, this tastes so good. What is that flavor? It's the egg. Come on, I'm going to put it in the lasagna. And then you put it in each layer. Here we go. It's okay to overlap. Now, if you're going to be a perfectionist, you don't have to do it this way. You can cut them however you wish. I gave up being perfect a long time ago. I'm happy with who I am. So there. Now this is the layer that I'm going to put more meatballs on. Let me start spreading this around gently so I don't squish them. You got to make sure the sauce covers the pasta because the pasta is not cooked, right? So you need to put a lot of sauce in here. And don't think, oh my gosh, look at how much sauce she's putting. Remember, these noodles are raw. They're going to expand. They need the sauce. So don't be shy. As far as the order of the cheese and the egg, it doesn't really matter. It's really a personal preference. I think the reason why my mom, or Nonna, used to do the cheese first, like the pecorino romano, so she could see actually how much she put in. Then, let's do this again. Again, I don't know if every Italian family does this with the egg, but that's what our family did. I'm not sure if Nonna just wanted to do a power punch of protein. Whatever it was, it worked. There we go. And repeat the process. Nonna loved simple cooking, simple Italian cooking. Nonno loved to get a little bit more creative. He loved putting chunks of sausage. He would put hot peppers. He loved his food to be super spicy. He was a spicy man. And, you know, you could put peas. You could put carrots if you wanted to. I know a lot of Italians who love to put peas in the sauce. I was never a big fan of that. But, you know, it's anything goes, whatever you want. This is the final topping, so I'm just going to put the sauce over it. No meatballs or anything like that. And here's what's great about lasagna. I could make this right now and not cook it, and I could freeze it for up to 3 months so that one day when I'm too tired coming home from work and I really don't feel like cooking, because you know me, I like to cook everything from scratch if possible. I will just take this out the morning of, leave it in the refrigerator, hope that it defrosts completely, come home, leave it on the counter a little longer to defrost, crank open the oven, at 375 and just let it cook completely through. Actually, to be quite honest, sometimes I think these things taste better the next day, the following day. So for example, I'm going to cook this tonight so you can see how wonderful it's going to look. And the lasagna will taste so much better tomorrow because it's had all that time to really get all those flavors inside of the pasta and just hold it and keep it there. So this is going to be my last layer of cheese, and then we're done. We're going to put foil over it and cook it. Now I put it in the convection oven. I have it at 400 because this is already room temperature, so it won't take long to cook through. But when it's frozen and if your pan is still very cold, go slow, do 375. It'll work great. Let me just get some foil. Okay, so now I covered it with foil. I'm putting it in the oven and letting it do its thing. I'll let you know how long it took. Now I'm making a little one here because I'm going to freeze it. Now I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough to do this, but it just worked out that I did, so it's great. Let's do the remainder of the cheese. Ooh, I'm making a mess. So when you want to freeze lasagna, manicotti, anything like this, what you do is you put the foil on. Make sure the foil is on nice and tight, like this. And then grab, I don't care if it's saran wrap, whatever kind of wrap you have. So what I do is I put the wrap down like this. And what you're trying to do is you want a good seal on this when you're in the freezer, okay? And then you're gonna grab another one and then you're gonna go from the sides to seal that part. I like to press and peel because then you can keep it in place a lot easier, just like this, and then fold it up. Okay, and then put it in the freezer. And then all right, let's see if this is ready. I just took it out. It's been 30 minutes. It's getting there. It still needs some more time, so we're gonna put it in for a little 15 more minutes. Now this looks perfect. What you should typically do is you need to wait at least 10 minutes, you know, to let everything just kind of blend well together. And this way it's easier to cut, it's easier to serve, things are cooled down, the sauce won't be as liquidy, it'll be a little thicker, and it'll come out nicely. But I'm just gonna cut a little piece just so you can see what it looks like. Whoops. I lost a little meatball, but that's okay, we'll put them back in there. Look at the meatballs, the sauce, the melted cheese. But you notice what you don't see? You don't see the egg, but it's in there. And the flavor is gonna be amazing. So let me just cut up a piece here. It's a little warm, it's a little hot. Sorry, it's a little warm, but wow, those flavors just burst in my mouth. They taste so good. You know the best part of it is, as I'm eating this, it is so light. The noodles, super light. If you made them homemade, it would be even lighter and have even a better flavor. But this is delicious. So I hope you enjoy. I'm going to enjoy this slice for sure. I love you. Buon appetito, bellezza. And have fun making this. Ciao, arrivederci.